If you find yourself in doubt about whether or not a character design is good, one of the first things I do is I check the silhouette. And you can look at this and you can get like an idea of the silhouette from a sketch like this. But the easiest way to make the silhouette super visible is by just putting the entire thing in black. We're going to do that real quick. And we've got the gaps here. Really important when you do this to emphasize the gaps in the silhouette. They really contribute to making the design clear. All the little negative space gaps, like in this ponytail, it's quite important to get those sorted before you do your proper silhouette check, because they have a lot to say about the read of the silhouette. Let's see, I think that's about all the gaps in the design. And then we go back to all black everything. And then you can kind of look at this and use this to evaluate the design. Does this feel good? And you can look for things like big, medium, small. For example, a problem I kind of have with this design right now is I have these tubes coming off of her silhouette and making gaps, but they're kind of all the same shape. There's like a huge medium, medium, medium feeling to those sections that kind of come off her body. So I might be compelled to come in here and try and fix that by maybe making sure that the shape on her head feels like a big shape compared to the others. Maybe making the shape at the feet, deliberately making that a smaller shape, a smaller negative space. And maybe deliberately making, we could make this leg thing also deliberately as small. Generally, what's appealing is having the fewest big shapes, a medium amount of medium shapes, and the largest amount of small shapes, right? So that's what I'm using to guide my decision making right now. I'm gonna have one big shape in the head area. I'm gonna have a couple small shapes, a couple areas of small shapes, and then we could make this middle section of negative shapes, we could make that our medium. Not quite as big as the shape we have on our head, yet still significantly bigger than the small shapes we just modified. Now we go and we check the silhouette again. And of course, like some of this is taste. I would tend to think that this is more appealing than what we had here, just because there's a bigger variation in the sizes of the shapes that we group. I instinctively group the shapes of those negative spaces, and then I want to vary those up, big, medium, small. When you do the silhouette check like this, you look for clarity, you look for construction. Does the silhouette look properly constructed? And I actually think that her left shoulder right now looks a bit high. I might come in and correct that. And her neck looks a bit thick in the silhouette. Clarity, construction, and appeal is what I would be looking for when doing the silhouette check like this. Clarity, construction, and appeal. Great way if you're like, is this a good design or not? If that's how you feel, put it in silhouette. You'll definitely have a better shot at figuring that out. Look at that. Wait,